Several countries are setting standards on how to effectively combat the current pandemic by teaching lessons which can be helpful during these times and in the future. One America's Jacob Miller explains.
As different countries handle the coronavirus at different paces, struggling countries can turn to a few good examples in fighting current and future battles. This, as reports point to examples of South Korea, Singapore, and Taiwan as they see dwindling coronavirus cases and rising recovery rates. These examples teach lessons in quick and data-driven responses, as well as enforcing social distancing measures without veering into draconian territory.
Fight to stop the virus with every resource at our disposal. Unite to confront the pandemic together. We are one humanity with one common enemy. No country can fight alone. We can only fight together.
Global leaders praised South Korea's early mobilization of medical companies and law enforcement, which gave the country access to a huge stockpile of medical supplies. This gave South Korean officials the ability to test everyone, including asymptomatic residents, so as to not limit testing to just people showing severe symptoms and a history of contact with affected people and areas. Health officials could isolate and treat patients with mild to no symptoms early, which they credit to containing the spread of the virus. The strategy comes with a caveat, with the government authorizing law enforcement to access private data, including GPS, bank records, and surveillance camera data, without needing a warrant. This provided the government the ability to target hotspots in the country and effectively allocate medical supplies to these areas.
Also, the country could aggressively respond to the virus outbreak in its early stages and achieve early diagnosis and quarantine. So these could be one of the reasons that the virus spread in our country is slowing down relatively quickly.
Singapore is being looked at for their punitive measures for social distancing and their communication with residents. Officials are threatening 6 months of jail time to anyone who holds sporting events, any public gatherings with more than 10 people, or standing or sitting next to someone less than 3 feet away. The country is also getting praised for being transparent with the public and not falling into contradicting or lack of awareness of the severity of the pandemic.
While we all know that there will be fatalities in COVID-19 patients, we are deeply saddened by their passing. I know Singaporeans will be worried and anxious. We must take courage and not give in to our fears.
Taiwanese officials are also taking early and effective protective steps, implementing cooperation efforts between the public and local officials. People coming back into the country from abroad must undergo a mandatory 14-day quarantine, and violators receive a $33,000 fine. Residents under lockdown coordinate with local officials to receive care packages with food supplies and set up regular communication to see if residents develop any symptoms.
When citizens receive our calls, they will often question why they have to be called both morning and evening. But after a while, they all feel they can accept this as the epidemic is an important issue for them.
Meantime, global officials urge struggling countries to implement rapid and wide-sweeping testing, as well as establish an effective trace and tracking strategy. Jacob Miller, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.